To become a dangerous thinker, you must first abandon the comfort of conventional thought. The average mind is dominated by emotion, reaction, and social conditioning. It is impulsive, swayed by external events and personal biases. But the dangerous thinker operates from a higher plane of calculation and perception, unaffected by the noise of the world and instead laser-focused on long-term strategies and subtle manipulations. The first sign that you are becoming a dangerous thinker is your ability to observe, not react. Where most people react impulsively to external stimuli, whether it's an insult, a provocation, or an opportunity, you've learned the art of observation. You don't waste energy on emotional reactions. Instead, you assess the situation, taking in all relevant data before deciding your next move. Reaction is a weakness. It's the first sign of a mind that is controlled by external forces. By pausing and reflecting before you act, you maintain the upper hand, controlling both your emotions and the situation. Your thoughts are no longer dictated by the rush of the moment. Instead, they are deliberate, methodical, and in full control of the situation. This is a dangerous thinker's most fundamental trait. They control themselves, which in turn allows them to control the environment around them. It's not about controlling everything, but understanding that the true power lies in waiting for the perfect moment, fully prepared to take action when the time is right. The second sign of becoming a dangerous thinker is your growing awareness of human nature. As you learn to observe, you begin to see past the masks that people wear. Their actions, words, and behaviors no longer fool you. You understand their motivations, their fears, desires, and insecurities, often before they. Those people are predictable. They act based on patterns, needs, and emotions. Once you understand how others think, you can begin to manipulate those patterns to your advantage. A dangerous thinker is not simply aware of human nature. They use that understanding to shape interactions and outcomes. You know when to be persuasive, when to create tension, and when to step back and let others reveal their vulnerabilities. This ability to control the perceptions of others and to anticipate their actions is the cornerstone of strategic thinking. The more you understand people, the more you can guide their behavior without them realizing it. You don't need to force others to act. You simply set the stage, create the environment, and allow them to follow the path you've laid out. The third sign is your ability to detach from your own emotions and biases. As a dangerous thinker, you recognize that emotions cloud judgment. Fear, anger, and pride distort reality. When you begin to think strategically, you learn to separate yourself from your emotions. This emotional detachment allows you to see the world as it truly is, without the filters of personal bias or immediate emotional responses. By remaining detached, you stop being controlled by your own reactions and instead shape your actions based on rational thought. This detachment does not mean that you are cold or unfeeling. It means that you can make decisions based on logic and strategy rather than momentary emotions. In situations of conflict, crisis, or uncertainty, the ability to remain calm and focused gives you the advantage. People will look to you as a source of strength and clarity because you remain unshaken in the face of adversity. Your calmness becomes your power. The ability to maintain composure when others falter is what makes you a dangerous thinker. The fourth sign is you begin to see opportunities where others see problems. The world is full of obstacles, challenges, and limitations. But while most people become trapped by these barriers, the dangerous thinker sees them as opportunities for growth, leverage, and influence. You are constantly assessing the landscape for weak points, areas where others have overlooked or misjudged the situation. Every challenge is an opportunity to manipulate, learn, and adapt. This mindset shift is crucial because the dangerous thinker thrives in chaos. Where others see a closed door, you see a window. Where they see failure, you see a lesson to be learned and applied. You stop fearing obstacles because you understand that without them, there would be no opportunity to rise above others. Life is a game of positioning, and each setback or challenge is just a step in your ascent. The more challenges you face, the more powerful you become. The fifth sign of a dangerous thinker is your growing focus on long-term strategy rather than short-term wins. The average mind is obsessed with immediate gratification. achieving quick results, gaining recognition, and securing instant rewards. But the dangerous thinker plays the long game. They plan years in advance, carefully considering how each decision will affect the future. They understand that true power comes from creating a series of deliberate, calculated steps, each one moving them closer to their ultimate objective. This long-term vision separates the ruthless strategist from the rest, while others are caught. In the rush of short-term desires, the dangerous thinker remains calm, focused, and patient. They understand that true success is not about immediate results, but about building something that lasts. Each move is calculated, each risk weighed against future outcomes. The power of the dangerous thinker lies not in momentary victories, but in the relentless pursuit of a carefully crafted vision. The sixth sign of becoming a dangerous thinker is your ability to question everything. Most people accept what they are told, follow social conventions, and adhere to societal norms without ever questioning their validity. But the dangerous thinker understands that the most powerful truths are often hidden beneath the surface. You question authority, tradition, and the status quo, never accepting anything as truth simply because it's been repeated often enough. By questioning everything, you break free from the limitations that others place on their own thinking. You start to see the world from multiple perspectives, recognizing opportunities for innovation, manipulation, and influence that others miss. This skepticism allows you to see the weak spots in every system, whether in a business, a relationship, or a political structure. The more you question, the more you realize that nothing is truly set in stone, and everything can be influenced or changed to serve your needs. As you continue to cultivate this mindset, you'll find that you are no longer bound by traditional thinking or limited by societal norms. You become a true strategist, capable of navigating any situation with an eye toward future benefit. Your mind becomes a tool of power, constantly probing for weaknesses, opportunities, and ways to shift the balance in your favor. In conclusion, becoming a dangerous thinker is not about being ruthless for the sake of cruelty. It is about sharpening your mind to its highest potential and using it to navigate the complexities of the world. It is about seeing beyond the surface, understanding the hidden motivations of others, and strategically positioning yourself for success. As you grow in your ability to detach from emotions, observe the world around you, and play the long game, you will find yourself becoming a force that cannot be ignored. The mind is your greatest weapon, and when you master it, nothing will stand in your way. Number 2, cultivating strategic perception and unshakable judgment. To truly become a dangerous thinker, you must master not just the thoughts in your own mind, but the ability to control how you perceive and interpret the world around you. The second sign that you are on the path to becoming a dangerous thinker is your ability to perceive beyond the obvious. While the average person is driven by impulse and emotional responses, the ruthless mind observes with precision and depth. A dangerous thinker understands that the true nature of a situation is often hidden beneath the surface and is not immediately obvious to the untrained eye. Perception is reality, and those who understand this truth have the power to shape their world. Most people are caught up in the noise, distractions, and surface-level analysis that come with everyday life. They fail to ask the deeper questions. What are the hidden motives behind people's actions? What is the true agenda at play? What is not being said, and why? The dangerous thinker is constantly analyzing these subtleties, looking for hidden patterns that others cannot see. You do not simply accept things at face value, but dissect them, dig deeper, and uncover what others are trying to hide. This perceptiveness is crucial because understanding the true motivations of people allows you to anticipate their actions and leverage them to your advantage. While others may act impulsively, driven by their own emotions and biases, the dangerous thinker moves with purpose, foresight, and insight. Your perception allows you to be a step ahead of the competition, always knowing what others will do before they do it. You understand that perception shapes decisions, and when you control how others perceive you and how you perceive them, you control the narrative. The third sign that you're becoming a dangerous thinker is your ability to detach emotionally from the world around you. Emotional reactions cloud judgment and weaken decision-making. In fact, the ability to think clearly under pressure is one of the hallmarks of a ruthless mind. The dangerous thinker knows that emotions, whether positive or negative, can be manipulated and used against you. Feelings of fear, anger, or even joy can cause you to make hasty, irrational decisions that others can capitalize on. To break free from this, the ruthless thinker develops emotional detachment. You learn to observe and analyze situations without becoming emotionally entangled in them. Your mind is your tool, and you do not allow it to be clouded by outside influences. When others panic, become frustrated, or act on impulse, you remain calm and collected, analyzing the situation with a clear head. This detachment does not mean you are cold or indifferent. It means you are able to evaluate every situation without the interference of fleeting emotions, allowing you to make strategic decisions with unwavering clarity. You are not a puppet to your feelings. You are the puppeteer. The fourth sign is your ability to manipulate the perceptions of others. To truly dominate the battlefield of life, you must understand that perception is often more powerful than reality. People do not act based on objective truth. They act based on how they perceive reality. The ruthless thinker leverages this truth to create an environment where others believe what they want them to believe. This does not mean lying, but rather controlling how information is presented. Whether in business, politics, or social situations, you shape how others see you and how they see the world around them. By carefully curating your image and using the power of suggestion, you can direct how others interpret your actions. You understand that information is a weapon, and the more you control it, the more you shape the world in your favor. This is why the truly dangerous thinker keeps some information hidden, revealing only what is necessary and letting others fill in the blanks. They create a reality where they are always in control, and others are always a few steps behind, trying to catch up. The fifth sign is your capacity for patience. The dangerous thinker knows that not all battles are won immediately, and not all actions need to be taken right away. The key to power lies in the ability to wait for the perfect moment to strike. Others rush into action impulsively, driven by emotion, ego, or impatience. The ruthless mind, however, understands that sometimes the most powerful move is to wait, to let the situation unfold, and to strike only when the time is right. This patience is not passive, it is an active form of control. By waiting for the right moment, you maintain your advantage and maximize the impact of your actions. Patience allows you to observe, to see how others move, and to calculate your next move with precision. The ruthless strategist understands that the right timing can turn the tide of any conflict. Patience is not about inaction. It is about action that is perfectly timed. The sixth sign that you are becoming a dangerous thinker is your ability to stay unpredictable. In a world full of predictable routines, predictable people, and predictable outcomes, it is the unpredictable individual who holds the most power. People react to patterns. They expect things to go a certain way, and when things deviate from that expectation, they become disoriented and unsure. By keeping your actions, thoughts, and moves unpredictable, you throw others off balance, forcing them to act defensively, always reacting to your next move instead of anticipating it. Unpredictability is a tool of control. When others cannot predict what you will do next, they cannot plan for it. They are left in a state of uncertainty, which gives you the upper hand. You become the enigma, the force that others cannot quite figure out. And in that uncertainty, you find your strength. The more unpredictable you are, the more others will fear you. In a world where everyone follows the same script, the individual who refuses to play by the rules becomes a force to be reckoned with. Finally, the most powerful dangerous thinker is the one who understands the art of strategy and tactical positioning. Life is a constant series of negotiations, battles, and opportunities. To succeed, you must position yourself where the most advantageous opportunities exist. Whether it's in relationships, business, or personal interactions, being in the right position at the right time is half the battle. The ruthless strategist knows that while they cannot control everything, they can control where they place themselves and who they surround themselves with. Strategic positioning is about seeing the big picture, knowing that every move you make, every choice you make is part of a larger, ongoing game. You do not act impulsively or emotionally. Instead, you take every opportunity to ensure that you are always in the strongest position. You choose your alliances, your goals, and your actions with an eye toward long-term success, positioning yourself for dominance in every situation. In conclusion, the dangerous thinker is not just one who reacts, but one who anticipates, calculates, and executes. By mastering perception, emotional control, patience, unpredictability, and strategic positioning, you become a force that can never be underestimated. The world may believe it understands you, but the dangerous thinker remains 3 steps ahead, manipulating, controlling, and shaping every situation to their advantage. The true power of the dangerous mind is not in its ability to dominate by brute force, but in its ability to move unnoticed, shaping the world around it with quiet, invisible authority. Number 3. Mastering psychological manipulation and silent power. To truly become a dangerous thinker, you must learn the delicate art of psychological manipulation. This goes beyond mere influence. It's about subtly bending the minds of those around you, guiding their thoughts, desires, and decisions without them realizing it. The third sign of becoming a dangerous thinker is your growing ability to manipulate the psychological levers of others without them even noticing. Manipulation, in its truest form, is not about lying or deceiving. It is about understanding human psychology so deeply that you can predict and control actions, emotions, and outcomes. The dangerous thinker knows that in every situation, there are hidden motivations, insecurities, and desires lurking beneath the surface. These are the levers that, when pulled correctly, allow you to influence and control those around you without resistance. The first principle of psychological manipulation is the power of suggestion. Dangerous thinkers never directly impose their will on others. Instead, they subtly plant ideas in their minds. The human brain is wired to seek confirmation for its own thoughts, often without realizing it. When you suggest something to someone, their subconscious mind works to validate that idea, making them believe it is their own thought. This technique is so powerful because it allows you to create the illusion of free will, even when the actions taken are entirely directed by you. For example, if you want someone to act in a certain way, you may not tell them directly what to do. Instead, you create a situation or conversation where they come to that conclusion on their own. You may ask leading questions or subtly suggest options, guiding them toward the decision you want without them ever realizing you've orchestrated the process. The key to this technique is subtlety and timing. You do not force thoughts onto others. You allow them to accept them naturally. Over time, they begin to act based on the ideas you've suggested, all while thinking they've made those decisions independently. This is the silent power of suggestion. Another powerful psychological tool is the use of fear and uncertainty. The dangerous thinker knows that fear is one of the most effective motivators of human behavior. Fear does not always have to be overt. It can be subtle, almost imperceptible. The mere suggestion of danger or the fear of the unknown can force people to act in ways that serve your agenda. This is particularly useful in high-stakes situations where emotions run high and decisions are made under pressure. By creating just enough uncertainty or fear, you can manipulate others into making decisions they might not otherwise make. This doesn't mean inciting panic or irrational fear. Rather, it's about planting seeds of doubt. When others are unsure about their future, they will look to you for guidance. And in that moment of vulnerability, you can dictate their decisions. This is a dangerous strategy, but one that allows you to seize control of situations with minimal effort. The more uncertain others are about their own standing, the more they will seek your validation and direction, putting you in a position of unmatched power. Fear, when used strategically, becomes a tool that ensures others rely on you to provide certainty in uncertain times. The third psychological lever to master is the power of social proof. Humans are social creatures, driven by a need for acceptance and validation from their peers. This is where social proof becomes a psychological weapon. Dangerous thinkers understand that the opinions of others can be manipulated to serve their own purposes. If you can create the illusion of consensus or agreement, others will be far more likely to fall in line with your desires. People are much more likely to follow a course of action if they see others doing the same, even if they initially disagreed. By carefully curating your social circles, engaging in subtle forms of influence, and aligning yourself with individuals who share your goals, you create a web of social validation that reinforces your authority. The more others see that people they respect are aligned with your thoughts and actions, the more likely they will be to follow suit. Social proof works as a psychological shortcut to decision-making, as it removes the uncertainty of an individual's judgment, allowing them to follow the crowd and feel secure in their actions. Next, the dangerous thinker leverages the power of emotional manipulation. Emotions are the driving force behind many of the decisions people make. Whether it's fear, love, jealousy, or anger, emotions often cloud logical thought and force individuals into making impulsive decisions. A dangerous thinker uses this emotional volatility to their advantage. By subtly triggering certain emotional responses, you can influence actions without the need for force. For example, evoking a sense of guilt or sympathy can make others more pliable. People are often willing to do things to alleviate feelings of guilt or to gain approval from others. You can create situations where others feel compelled to act in your favor to avoid emotional discomfort. Similarly, by triggering positive emotions like admiration or affection, you can strengthen your influence and cement your position of power. Emotional manipulation does not mean taking advantage of people's vulnerabilities. It means understanding how emotions drive decisions and using that knowledge to nudge others in your desired direction. Another form of emotional manipulation is playing on people's ego. Ego is often the Achilles heel of even the most powerful individuals. If you can make someone feel superior, important, or validated, you gain a powerful ally. A well-timed compliment or recognition of someone's accomplishments can create a bond of loyalty and gratitude, making them more likely to support your goals and act in ways that serve your interests. Flattery, when used subtly, creates a connection that makes it difficult for the other person to resist your influence. The final principle of psychological manipulation in this number is the ability to read people and anticipate their behavior. A dangerous thinker is always 2 steps ahead of everyone else. This ability to predict others' actions comes from keen observation and an understanding of psychological patterns. People may think they are acting independently, but in reality, their behavior is influenced by deeper psychological drives, desire for approval, fear of rejection, or the need for control. By recognizing these drives, the ruthless mind can anticipate how others will react in any given situation and use that to their advantage. Psychological insight allows you to predict responses before they happen, giving you an edge in every interaction. In conclusion, the power of psychological manipulation is not about control through brute force. It is about subtlety, precision, and understanding human nature at its core. By mastering the art of suggestion, fear, social proof, emotional influence, and anticipation of behavior, you become a strategist who operates in the shadows, moving others to your will without them ever realizing it. The dangerous thinker doesn't need to force or coerce. They simply create the environment where others follow willingly, believing it is their own choice. Number 4, the art of strategic detachment and calculated decision-making. To become a truly dangerous thinker, you must master the art of detachment. Detachment is the process of distancing yourself from emotional triggers, the chaos of external distractions, and even the opinions of others. The dangerous thinker understands that emotions cloud judgment, and the inability to detach from them leads to impulsive, ineffective decision-making. The 4th sign that you are becoming a dangerous thinker is your ability to detach yourself from situations, outcomes, and emotional entanglements, thus ensuring that you can think clearly and act strategically in any environment. Detachment as mastery over emotions. The first step in mastering detachment is understanding your emotional triggers. Everyone has them. Moments where they feel vulnerable, angry, defensive, or overjoyed. These are natural human emotions, but when you allow them to control your actions, you lose the upper hand. The dangerous thinker knows that emotions must never dictate decisions. In moments of high pressure or intense emotional situations, The ability to detach from your emotions and make calculated decisions becomes a powerful tool. This does not mean that you suppress your emotions or ignore them. Instead, you learn to observe your emotions without letting them drive your actions. You train yourself to pause, breathe, and reflect before reacting. The dangerous thinker sees emotions as information, not instruction. For example, if you feel anger rising within you during an argument, you don't lash out. Instead, you use the anger as fuel to calculate a response that will achieve your objective. Whether you choose to act on it or dismiss it, your decisions are always based on logic and strategy, not on immediate emotional impulses. Emotional detachment doesn't only apply to negative emotions, it applies to positive ones as well. For instance, overconfidence or excessive pride can be just as dangerous as fear or anxiety. When you become too attached to a particular outcome or idea, it can cloud your judgment. Dangerous thinkers are never driven by pride or arrogance. They are always detached from their successes and failures. They see themselves as both above and below the situation, understanding that victory and defeat are temporary, and both should be used as learning opportunities. The strategic mind, detachment from outcomes. Another key aspect of strategic detachment is detaching from the outcome of your decisions. This is perhaps one of the most powerful principles in Machiavellian thinking. The majority of people make decisions with a desperate need to control the outcome, but this need for control can be a weakness. Dangerous thinkers, however, understand that they can only control their actions, not the outcomes. They learn to release attachment to the results and instead focus on executing their strategy with precision. By detaching from the need for a specific result, you free yourself from the fear of failure and the frustration of unpredictability. This creates a mindset where every action is a step forward, regardless of whether it leads to success or failure. Failure is not something to fear, it is merely feedback. Detachment from outcomes allows you to operate with complete freedom, without the weight of fear, doubt, or ego holding you back. This detachment also applies to others' expectations. Many people are trapped by the need for validation, approval, or recognition from those around them. The dangerous thinker, however, does not seek external validation. They know that true power comes from self-assurance. When you detach from others' opinions, you become immune to manipulation, flattery, and criticism. You are no longer swayed by the crowd. Instead, you make decisions based on your own internal compass. Making calculated decisions, with detachment comes the ability to make calculated, unemotional decisions. The dangerous thinker is not swayed by the chaos around them or the urgency of the moment. Instead, they make decisions based on a thorough understanding of the situation, available options, and long-term implications. The truly dangerous mind makes decisions based on strategy, not emotion. When faced with a choice, you should always pause and consider the long-term impact of each option. This is where the power of calculated decision-making lies. You see every decision as a small piece of a much larger puzzle. You understand that each choice you make ripples outward, affecting future events, people, and situations. Dangerous thinkers take the time to step back, analyze the data, and weigh the consequences of their actions. In moments of high pressure, this ability to pause and reflect is a significant advantage. While others may act hastily or emotionally, the dangerous thinker remains calm, taking their time to make sure that every decision aligns with their ultimate goal. In this way, delayed gratification becomes a tool for long-term power. You avoid making rash decisions that might offer temporary benefits but undermine your ultimate goal. Instead, you focus on strategic patience, knowing that the right move at the right time will yield the greatest return. Detachment in conflict. Turning the tables in situations of conflict, detachment is your greatest weapon. The emotional stakes in a conflict can cloud judgment, leading people to act impulsively, making them vulnerable. When others are angry, defensive, or irrational, the dangerous thinker remains calm and collected. This detachment allows you to control the pace of the conflict. While others become bogged down by emotion, you remain focused on the objective, whether it's winning the argument, gaining leverage, or outmaneuvering your opponent. The strategic mind understands that conflict is never about winning or losing. In the traditional sense, it's about positioning yourself to come out ahead, regardless of the immediate outcome. By staying detached, you maintain the power to shape the conflict in your favor. You do not react to provocations or insults. Instead, you use them to further your goal, manipulating the flow of the conversation or the situation with precision. Detachment allows you to step outside of the emotional turmoil, seeing the game for what it truly is, a strategy to be won, not a battle to be fought. The power of patience and resilience. Detachment also strengthens your ability to endure hardship and adversity. Life is filled with obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. Most people allow these difficulties to dictate their emotions and reactions, becoming disheartened or overwhelmed. But the dangerous thinker understands that resilience is the ultimate form of power. By detaching from the fear of failure and embracing each setback as an opportunity to learn and grow, you become unshakable. In moments of adversity, you do not panic, complain, or rush to change the situation. Instead, you focus on the long-term strategy, keeping your eyes on the ultimate goal. Patience is your ally, and resilience is your strength. As others falter, the dangerous thinker rises above, turning every setback into a stepping stone toward greater power. Number 5. The power of psychological leverage and unseen influence. A dangerous thinker understands that power is not just about what you can control directly. It's about how you influence the world around you in ways that seem subtle and unnoticed, yet shape the outcome with immense effect. Psychological leverage is the tool of the strategist who wishes to remain in the shadows, but still pull all the strings. The 5th sign that you're becoming a dangerous thinker is your growing ability to create leverage over others without overtly exerting force. Most people believe that power comes from direct action or sheer force. They push their will on others, demand their attention, and often end up expending energy in ways that make them vulnerable. But the dangerous thinker knows that true influence lies in the ability to manipulate others' actions without them ever realizing they are being manipulated. Psychological leverage is about understanding the mental triggers of those around you and using them to your advantage. The dangerous thinker begins by identifying what drives the people they wish to influence. What are their weaknesses? What do they fear? What do they want most? These are the keys to unlocking the mind of your target. You don't manipulate people through forceful action or overt persuasion. You do it through subtle psychological nudges that guide them towards decisions they believe are theirs. For example, consider the simple yet powerful technique of reciprocity, the principle that people feel compelled to return favors or act in kindness when they receive something. The dangerous thinker uses this natural tendency to build leverage by offering small, seemingly insignificant gestures of kindness, information, or favors. These actions may appear altruistic, but they are carefully calculated to create a sense of indebtedness in others. Once this debt is established, you have created psychological leverage that allows you to ask for something in return, which they will feel almost compelled to give. The true genius of psychological leverage is that you manipulate the perceptions and actions of others without them ever realizing it. They believe they are making their own decisions, but in reality, you have shaped those decisions through subtle psychological cues. It's about guiding the narrative without ever appearing to influence it. In this way, you remain in control, while others remain unaware of your strategic maneuvers. Another form of psychological leverage is manipulating the narrative. People act according to the stories they tell themselves, often without questioning the truth of these stories. If you can control the narrative that others are operating within, you can control their behavior without them realizing it. A masterful strategist can shape a story in such a way that others believe they are simply following their own desires, when in fact, they are being subtly led by the story you've created. For example, consider the subtle manipulation of social narratives. In a group setting, the dangerous thinker knows how to create an atmosphere where their influence becomes a guiding force. By framing situations in ways that align with their goals, they can manipulate how others think, feel, and act. They don't need to force people into compliance. They simply make the narrative work in their favor. They steer conversations, highlight certain facts while minimizing others, and create a story that paints them as the central figure in the unfolding events. This way, you manipulate how others see the world without them even realizing that their perceptions are being shaped. It's a technique that allows the dangerous thinker to wield power indirectly, pulling the strings from behind the scenes and guiding others towards actions that align with their own objectives. Using fear and desire to shape outcomes, at the core of psychological leverage is the understanding that people are driven by two powerful forces, fear and desire. The dangerous thinker uses these forces to subtly guide others toward their goals. Fear is a powerful motivator because it often overrides rational thought. The fear of loss, failure, or missing out can push people into making decisions that they would not otherwise make. By introducing a perception of scarcity or urgency, you can create a sense of fear in others. For example, you might create the illusion of a fleeting opportunity, something that may disappear if action is not taken quickly. This sense of urgency forces others to act on their desires before they fully assess the consequences of their actions. It makes them react impulsively, and in doing so, they relinquish control of the situation to you. Similarly, desire, the longing for success, approval, or power, can also be manipulated. The dangerous thinker knows how to identify what others want most and can craft situations that give them just enough of that desire to keep them coming back for more. Whether it's recognition, validation, or financial gain, you feed their desires in a way that makes them reliant on you. When people are emotionally invested in achieving a goal, they are willing to make compromises or decisions that they would not normally make. This emotional investment gives you leverage over their actions. Timing and patience. The deadly combination to maximize psychological leverage. The dangerous thinker understands the importance of timing and patience. Influence is not about forcing your will onto others. It's about waiting for the perfect moment to introduce your psychological triggers. Whether you are using fear, desire, or social influence, timing is critical. By understanding the emotional state of those around you and the context in which they are operating, you can introduce your influence at just the right moment, when it will have the most significant impact. Patience is just as important as timing. The dangerous thinker knows that leverage grows stronger over time. Sometimes the best course of action is to wait for others to reveal their weaknesses or desires. By observing, gathering information, and patiently waiting for the right moment, you allow others to make their own moves, which you can then manipulate to your advantage. The more you wait, the more you can observe how others react to situations, and the better you can position yourself to strike at the opportune moment. Control through psychological leverage. By now, it should be clear that psychological leverage is about subtle control over information, emotions, perceptions, and reactions. The dangerous thinker knows that power does not always come from force or authority. It comes from the quiet, invisible manipulation of others' decisions and actions. You do not dominate others through loud speeches or direct threats. You dominate by quietly shifting the parameters of the game, making others play by your rules without them even realizing it. Every interaction, every conversation, every decision is an opportunity for you to create leverage. Whether you are negotiating a deal, navigating a political landscape, or simply interacting with others in a social setting, the ability to subtly influence the actions of those around you allows you to control the outcome. The more you master psychological leverage, the more you can bend the world to your will. Number 6, the art of strategic relationships and building power networks. As you rise in your journey toward becoming a dangerous thinker, you will soon realize that intellectual power alone is not enough. To truly dominate, you must understand the critical importance of relationships and how to strategically leverage your social and professional networks. The 6th sign that you are becoming a dangerous thinker is your growing ability to build and maintain relationships that advance your strategic goals. These relationships are not about emotional connections or superficial bonds. They are about power, influence, and gaining access to resources that allow you to move further along your path. The first principle of building strategic relationships is the understanding that every interaction is an opportunity When you engage with others, whether in a professional setting, social circle, or personal relationship, you must always be evaluating the situation in terms of what it can provide you. This is not a sign of selfishness. It is the mark of someone who operates in a world where resources, whether information, power, or influence, are limited, and those who control them control the game. Every person you meet can be a potential ally, resource, or stepping stone to achieving your goals. A dangerous thinker does not waste time with superficial pleasantries or empty friendships. Instead, they are always evaluating how they can extract value from a relationship, whether it's gaining new knowledge, influencing a decision, or securing a favor for the future. To become a truly dangerous thinker, you must begin to view relationships through the lens of power and opportunity. Everyone you interact with can serve as a piece of the puzzle that advances your strategic agenda. The power of alliances. Strategic relationships are often built around alliances. As a dangerous thinker, you know that the most powerful individuals rarely operate alone. Instead, they build alliances that amplify their strengths and shield them from their weaknesses. These alliances are carefully crafted based on mutual benefit and shared goals. You do not simply surround yourself with people who make you feel good or validate your ego. Instead, you seek out individuals who complement your skills, expertise, or influence. Strategic alliances are built on leveraging strengths, whether it's gaining access to information, capital, or political influence. The dangerous thinker understands that the strongest alliances are those that are beneficial to both parties. By aligning with others who can offer something of value, you increase your own power while simultaneously helping them to further their own interests. This symbiotic relationship creates a situation where both sides become more formidable. However, you must always remain cautious in choosing your allies. Even the most powerful relationships can have hidden costs. Never align yourself with individuals who may eventually use you as a stepping stone to their own success. A dangerous thinker is always aware of the potential for betrayal or exploitation, so they carefully select their allies, keeping in mind the long-term consequences of every connection. The key to alliances is not about trusting others blindly. It's about using relationships as tools to enhance your own influence. By cultivating a network of allies who support your goals, you create a web of influence that allows you to operate with greater leverage in every situation. Using people as tools to truly rise to power, you must learn to use people as tools in the pursuit of your objectives. This does not mean being exploitative or malicious. It means understanding how to influence others so that they unknowingly work in your favor. Manipulating relationships to your advantage is not about coercion, but about understanding how to frame situations so that others willingly contribute to your goals. The dangerous thinker understands the psychology of others, what motivates them, what they fear, and what they want. By tapping into these emotions and desires, you can guide others toward actions that serve your agenda. For example, you may use someone's need for validation to extract useful information or offer a sense of security in exchange for a favor. You may even leverage someone's ambition, encouraging them to take actions that ultimately benefit you in the long run. Each person's personal desires become a tool in your broader strategy, allowing you to move forward without revealing your true intentions. Using people as tools requires finesse. You must ensure that you are not perceived as manipulating them outright, or else they may turn on you. Instead, you create an environment where they feel as though their actions are motivated by their own desires, when in fact they are doing exactly what you need them to do. The dangerous thinker is the master of subtle influence, guiding others without them ever realizing they are being led. Exploiting weaknesses and vulnerabilities. One of the most important aspects of building strategic relationships is understanding how to exploit weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Every person has a weakness, something they fear, something they covet, or something they wish to hide. The dangerous thinker seeks to identify these weaknesses early and uses them to their advantage. This is not about exploiting others in a vindictive or malicious way. It's about understanding human nature and how to position yourself as someone who holds power over others' vulnerabilities. For example, if someone has a deep-seated fear of failure, you can use that fear to drive them to take action that aligns with your goals. If someone is desperate for approval, You can offer them validation in exchange for loyalty or favors. By identifying what others are afraid of or what they desire most, you can ensure that they are more likely to act in ways that serve your long-term strategy. However, this requires a delicate balance. You must never push others too far, or else they may become aware of your manipulation and rebel. The key is to offer just enough of what they desire, using their weaknesses to your advantage without fully exploiting them. In this way, you gain influence over others without alienating them. The power of a personal network building. A network of powerful individuals and allies is crucial, but it's also important to understand how to protect and expand your network. A strong network is not built in a day. It requires constant cultivation. Dangerous thinkers are masters of networking, but they don't network just for the sake of making connections. They do so to expand their circle of influence. Your network is a reflection of your power, and the more influential people you can connect with, the more power you gain. Strategically growing your network means cultivating relationships with people from various walks of life, individuals who can offer you different perspectives, skills, and resources. A dangerous thinker knows that power comes from having access to multiple avenues of influence. Whether it's politicians, businessmen, or experts in various fields, you strategically build relationships that give you access to the right information, resources, and opportunities when you need them. Navigating betrayal and building resilience. Lastly, strategic relationships require resilience, especially in the face of betrayal. In your rise to power, there will always be those who seek to use you or betray you for their own gain. The dangerous thinker understands that betrayal is inevitable. However, rather than being blindsided by it, they prepare for it. You understand that the key to handling betrayal is not emotional reaction, but strategic adaptation. When someone betrays you, it's not a time for anger or regret. It's a time for calculation and repositioning. You assess the situation, understand how this betrayal occurred, and determine how to mitigate the damage. Then, you use the betrayal as an opportunity to reinforce your power by ensuring that the person who wronged you no longer has the ability to influence you. By maintaining your composure and focusing on your long-term goals, you turn betrayal into an opportunity for growth and further control.